up my screen. Share, okay. Can all see this here? All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us and welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Angela Freelander and I'm FSR's Director of Development. And I'm so excited to introduce my colleague, Tricia Shivas, VP of Research and Strategic Partnerships, and our special guest, our Steps for SARC team leader, Mary McGonigal. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our Steps for SARC's fundraising tips and tricks. Through this event, we will learn some new information about fundraising and also spark your creativity, hopefully spark your creativity, because fundraising is fun. We will review our Steps for SARC campaign, have a Q&A with Mary, provide some ways on how to build momentum in your campaign, and then conclude with a Q&A. Just a couple housekeeping notes. This session will be recorded, and please remember to keep yourself on mute when you're not speaking. If you want to ask questions, you can use the raise hand feature, which is found in the reaction section at the bottom of your screen, or feel free to type questions or ideas into the chat as we go along. Before we get started, I want to recognize that this event was sponsored by Mallinckrodt Pharmaceuticals. This year, FSR is celebrating April's Sarcoidosis Awareness Month through our virtual STEP and fundraising challenge, Steps for SARC. Often fundraisers are a great way to help increase disease awareness and educate the public around a cause. Our goal for the Steps for SARC campaign is to complete 9 million steps and raise $25,000 for sarcoidosis research initiatives and patient support programs by April 30th. With your help, Steps for SARC has raised over $14,000, which is absolutely incredible, and more than 300 people have joined us. Not to mention, we're over halfway to our goal of completing 5.5 million steps. We are so grateful for all your support and efforts in this campaign and are just thrilled by the response. Now, I'd like for you all to help me welcome tonight's featured Q&A guest, Mary. Currently, she's the team captain of the leading Steps for SARC team and patient advocate, Mary.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Mary, and for sharing your valuable insight. Our community has provided some questions for you and are really excited to hear about how you've built such a successful campaign. So, to kick it off, I'm going to start by asking their first question. Why do you participate in the annual FSR Team KISS Walks? And why are you participating in this year's Steps for SARC campaign?
So I participate each year in memory of my late husband, PJ, who passed away suddenly from cardiac sarcoidosis in 2014. Coincidentally, also, my brother is living with sarcoidosis. He has pulmonary, cardiac, and cutaneous, meaning the skin, sarcoidosis. And luckily, he's doing well. And I continue to keep my husband's memory alive by gathering every year in his memory and in an effort to help out the sarcoidosis community. It also allows me to see faces that I no longer, unfortunately, see as regularly as a result of his death. Your social circle really changes. So that was hard adjustment for me as well.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we're so grateful that you participate with us and have been a leader over the years because, you know, it's through your efforts that we're able to, you know, help patients, support patient initiatives and research. So we're so grateful for your participation over the years. How have you built your team and teams over the years, I should say?
So my team consists of all of the people. I don't know why my screen just got dark. Do I look dark? No, now it's light again. Anyway, that my team consists of all the people who love my husband. And when there is a death involved, there's a tendency for people to be more generous. And so, so he had a big group of friends that miss him. And then I also come from a large family. I'm one of 11 children, and one of my siblings has sarcoidosis. So I think it helps that we have a big support group that contributes and are generous and want a cure as much as everyone else and miss my husband as much as I do.
Yeah. It's incredible to see how it's grown and how it can spread and really create that sense of awareness and community with PJ's walks. So
Yeah.
that's amazing and beautiful. So how do you choose who you want to outreach to for your fundraising efforts, Mary?
So I reach out to my circle of friends and family and his circle of friends and family. The first year, I extended it also to some professional colleagues. Um, but I noticed with time that their participation or interest waned. And um, I realized that the core circle of close people, their interest remains. And so they are the people I continue to reach out to. I understood that with time, there would be a loss of people willing to participate, and I have noticed that over the years. However, I did also expect that from more of the peripheral people in my life and his um, past life. So I also utilize social media. I The only platform that I'm semi on is Facebook. However, that's been sporadic. But in April, it's been a lot more consistent. So I do utilize that, and I think you can reach out to the masses. I noticed that there were two donors that are strangers to me, and I made my post public. I make all of my posts public for this. So
It's a great tip.
and I tag FSR in it,
Hmm.
and I use the hashtag as well, so that it could be searched more easily.
Hmm.
And I do find it thrilling when I see a stranger donate. Um, but I think the social media platforms really enable our reach to be much further as a result. I wish I was on Instagram or but or Twitter. I just don't have an interest personally to grow my social media life. I'm already busy enough that I find that would be difficult for me to manage so many platforms, but it is something I could consider next year when I, revisit or reevaluate how many more people I may need to reach. I may consider an Instagram page. But you really do have to be willing to put in a lot of personal time to gather followers, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I would need to gather followers way much prior to the campaign, and I don't know how much effort that would require. So I'd have to consider whether or not that would be useful or not for next
Yeah.
year.
Well, I think the important thing to note that you said is how powerful social media is, and I think that what you've seen is clearly it's been successful for you is so much as that it's reaching new people. So
Yeah,
despite the fact that you're not on Instagram or Twitter, you're
yeah,
still reaching new folks through Facebook, and that's again it's incredibly powerful how social media has created this almost it's kind of like a fire, it just
yeah,
spreads and spreads and spreads, and you don't know, it can really just it keeps going because you don't know how many people are sharing your page who
right.
can then share their page, and yeah, the it's just immense how networks can grow so
Yeah,
quickly. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
great.
pandemic didn't help, you know. The pandemic put a damper on things. Audiences that I would have been able to reach out to
Hmm.
disappeared, you know. Like, so I'm
Yeah.
also a physician and I lecture at my medical school. However, they didn't have live instruction anymore.
Mm.
So my past lectures have already been recorded. So
Hmm.
they used them for the pandemic. So otherwise, I could have gotten a lot of students. I never ask students to donate money ever. I
Hmm.
don't find, I'm not comfortable with that because students are broke. I remember being one of them, but I could have gotten a lot of student participation with doing the steps.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the pandemic hadn't been here, I would have been able to have at least, you know, I lecture to 150 kids at once, and most of them come to my sarcoidosis lecture. And uh, so it would have been nice to see the steps pile up. You know,
Yeah.
the
Well,
miles add up, but
absolutely. And I think that's a great point for us to consider into next year too, looking
yeah,
at what how normal life can resume and what that looks like. And I think that, you really hit the nail on the head in terms of stepping is, and that's one of the reasons why we decided on this campaign is many people have access to step. We can, even
yeah,
if someone isn't the most, physically fit, they don't have to run a marathon to be able to walk steps around their backyard
yeah,
or in their living room. And I think the accessibility and the inclusivity of the
hmm,
idea behind it is really contributes to the success that we've seen.
yeah,
So
for
that's great
sure.
insight. Yeah.
You know,
Um,
if you're going to have a community 5K, it's great to have walkers there who may or may not be raising funds just because it looks great to have a crowd. And I was going to have one last year right before the pandemic shut it down, and I was actually stuffing it full of, you know, kids and teenagers and college students just because I knew I had walked a couple of years ago and Alzheimer's one and as well as a breast cancer one and I knew they both did that and it's just good. It looks good for other people who has raised money thinking, yeah, I'm part of something big. So Mary, when you said that, it struck me that so that's good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whenever there's a crowd, it draws attention, and
mhm.
um, yeah, I could have had students come. Like I said, I don't care if you can't donate, just join our fun and support, you know, and get our message out
Yeah,
louder,
that
you know. The collaborative group voice is much louder than singular voice.
that's exactly right. And those kids, I'll bet, probably in high school or someone who's never heard of the disease, after they attended an event for sarcoidosis, they know about sarcoidosis now, and now it's something that they're familiar with. And while it might not be direct donation, it's more people that know about the disease, and that's still a win. So um, you know, so Jim, yeah, I think that's great. Great point.
Yeah.
Um, so Mary, lastly, do you have any tips or suggestions to share with fellow fundraisers, or what would you tell them?
I do actually. I thought of this, and when I do, so I don't want to post the walk or the steps campaign every single day on Facebook, because then I think people become exhausted by you and your topic. So I chose to just do it once a week, and when I post, I don't just post the link. Instead, I'll post pictures that may capture people's interest and then therefore draw them into clicking on my post. So the first week, I decided to take pictures of every purple flower that I passed during my walk for my steps and encourage people to do the same because that would make the walk more interesting and it ends up becoming a fun activity and more enjoyable. The second week, I decided to post my dog in front of a field of lavender ground cover flowers among different flower pictures as well. And I think that that helps to draw attention. Next week, I have something planned that's going to be cute and fun. And I did notice that when other sarcoidosis friends post their campaigns, sometimes they'll post photos of just themselves in a purple shirt. And as nice as that is, I think um, a photo that would maybe be more um, generic and pleasing to the masses. Like if the person who posts that is unknown to me, I may not click on it. And that person who posted their own photo, of course, their friends are going to click on it because they're interested. But I find if I post things that are just more universally crowd pleasing, not just a picture of me in a purple shirt, instead, beautiful purple flowers or a baby in a purple tutu. Like if you have a grandchild, like these are all sweet pictures that will grab people's attention and then want them to then read further more about your post. And then within my post is where I embed the link so that the Facebook post doesn't look like what you see in front of you here. You don't see that gigantic picture. Instead, you'll see a cute picture of my dog, or,
Hmm.
if I had a grandchild, I would do a cute picture of my grandchild in a purple tutu. Like just cute
Hmm.
little things like that you can think to draw someone in.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Those personalized photos, and I think one of the things is that you mentioned about that is that what you're doing, I think, is creating emotional connections with more
Yeah.
people by posting pictures of flowers or pictures of
Yes.
you got a cute dog, or like you said, a baby, because
Yeah.
that elicits an emotional response from
Hmm.
more people. Whereas if someone is posting a picture of myself, people that don't know me, like you
Yeah.
said, might not, be as interested and, elicit that very quick
Yes.
emotional response, because we're on our phones and we're scrolling and, or whatever people are doing on their computer. And, those cute emotional pictures make someone stop and
Yes,
then,
they do,
yeah,
for
read.
sure.
Hmm. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for providing that insight and information. We're so grateful for you to share how you've built such a successful fundraiser over the years.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you, thank you.
Hmm.
Now we are going to share ways that you can build momentum in your campaign. So throughout the next segment, we're going to invite you to submit questions and any ideas through the chat as we go along the next few slides, so that we can discuss them and talk about them in the Q&A section. So one of the important ways to build momentum through your campaign is through participant communication. Now, they say that communication is a key to success, but is also a key element in fundraising. Staying connected with your team and your network through email updates helps keep your friends and family engaged in your campaign and interested in your success, as Mary mentioned. If you have a team, you can encourage your team members to also share their updates and progress too. The Steps for Start dashboard, which I've posted a picture here, I'll put this, um, has a really easy activities task list. And the buttons on the task list that I've circled on the screen allow you to very easily send emails and post to social media. One way to increase your campaign engagement is to tag your donors on social media in a post and thank them. This shows your donors that you're grateful for their support, and the social media recognition encourages others in your social media following to make a donation too. Another way to help your fundraising campaign build momentum is to create a participant challenge. Participant challenges are a fun way to increase engagement for your fundraiser and create competition among your friends and family. When even a friendly competition is thrown in the mix, it gets people excited to participate and for the chance to win. It does not have to be the entire length of the campaign to be effective either. It can be a weekend long, a week long, or 24-hour long challenge. Now I'm going to share some fun examples of how you can challenge your friends and family. A selfie challenge. Super easy. Assess what you need to do to meet your goal and challenge your team and your friends and family to help support you by completing their steps and steps for start or fundraising a certain amount. And for those that don't meet the challenge, they have to take a silly selfie and post it to social media. You can send them a purple wig or make them hold up a sign saying they lost your challenge, and as a result, they have to make a donation to your page. The Foodie challenge. I love this one. This is such a fun and creative way to invite your team to build upon your fundraising momentum. Decide what the challenge should be, and then for those who do not meet the challenge, they must eat something unappealing that the winner gets to decide. And then, of course, take a picture and post it to social media of them eating the unappealing meal. Here you guys see what I would make the losers of my challenge eat: a bologna sandwich and a large side of lima beans. Group challenges. Challenge another Steps for Sark team in a competition. The FSR staff, here you see, has officially challenged the FSR Board of Directors in a fundraising challenge. The team that does not meet our fundraising competition has to wear a purple wig and take a selfie, as you see here. Then we will compile all the selfies of the losing team into a collage that we will share on social media. What other ideas do you have for a group challenge? Everybody Steppin' for the weekend. The weekend of April 24th, 25th, we will be hosting Everybody Steppin' for the weekend. This is our last weekend push to meet our step and fundraising goal, and we need you to help make that happen. Another fun challenge is to include for Everybody Steppin' for the weekend is a dance challenge. Gather your friends, your family, and for a virtual social media dance-off. You can play your favorite song from the Everybody Steppin' for the Weekend Spotify playlist and challenge your friend to a dance-off. Whoever loses must make a donation to your page. You can do fun dances like the floss or these funky dance moves that these people are doing. And of course, take pictures and post it to social media of your challenge. We need you to help us take over social media for Everybody Steppin' for the weekend. Share your posts with us so we can take social media by storm. Also be sure to tag FSR and add the hashtags sarcoidosis and Steps for Sark. Finally, we are so excited to share that the weekend of Everybody Steppin' for the weekend, there will be a donation matching opportunity. Thanks to a few very generous donors, up to a certain amount raised will be donated to Steps for Sark. Finally, since we have time left, we have opened it up for some questions. And if anyone has any questions, like I said, definitely submit them in the chat. But want to open it up so the group can, I'm going to stop sharing, can discuss. So the first question that I want to pose to the group is, how do you find donors? You want to share? I'll tell you how Marcia, go ahead. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, everyone. It started off kind of slow. Well, I guess for everyone due to the pandemic, but I've been talking about FSR since I met you guys. And my sister did a funny video yesterday. Like, if you tell me one more thing about FSR, I'm going to scream. And so everyone knows, so I talk about it all the time. I mean, whatever, if I'm talking to someone on the telephone, before I hang up, I have to say something about sarcoidosis and the step for SARC to them. I just keep talking to them about it. You know, that's a little short way of spreading awareness. And then they say, well, okay, geez. And I really don't feel bad because I'm spreading awareness. I got my point across. At least they know about sarcoidosis, whether they donate or not. But then, you know, if you feel confident that, you know, just keep saying it every day. That's, you know, if the kids, my grandbaby, that was funny when Mary said about the grandbaby, because I posted a video. I don't know if you all saw it, but I had my purple button on and my t-shirt and a ribbon. And I was just she's 2 years old. I was just asking her, what is this? And of course, she said, oh, it's purple. I said, that is correct. And kids listen, believe it or not. They are information highway.
Oh, yep.
She looked at this button yesterday and said, they call me Grumpsy. Grumpsy, sarcoidosis. And she's 2 years old. And if she can say sarcoidosis
Oh,
without any stumbling, no gibberish, clear as I'm just spoken to you guys. So if a child can relate and say it, and she's interested, but in her own little mind, then an adult receives it, whether they want to hear it or not. They understand what you're saying. So I just constantly just keep talking to them, and I call and call and call. I actually called the White House today for the second time because I sent them a letter, one of the standard letters, for the officials to illuminate the White House purple. And I was really in my feelings because they did respond twice, but no concrete date that they are going to illuminate the White House. And I want to know. I don't want it to be a surprise. And then I'm calling FSR, say, hey, they illuminated the White House yesterday. And nobody knows like what's going on. So I just constantly talk about it until I'm tired. I mean, I'm not tired of talking about it, but I'm just making myself exhausted talking about it and letting them know, and including FSR. I had a hard time with Instagram is new to me. Facebook isn't. So I had to get on board with the hashtags and, to send all the photos. So I kind of went back and try to do as much as I can, but I just speak about it every day. Grocery store, any way, and the doctors. I got my port flush today. I talked to them. I went to church last Sunday and I was speaking to one of the pastors, and Lord and behold, he called me up to the pulpit. So I had a support group at church on Sunday, and I had some flyers and the literature from FSR, and I told them, meet me in the lobby after service, and I handed it out. So even if they just take it or just listen for 1 second, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. So I just continue to speak about it, and I always say, just listen for a few minutes or seconds. And it's not about, yeah, we're trying to raise the money for the research, the money, you need the money. But I kind of let them know, if you just take a moment to understand what I'm asking, to understand this disease, to help me spread awareness, because I know when I get finished speaking, you're going to tell someone else. And if you be so kind, if you like to donate, God bless you. And it works. It works. If it's $1, 50 cents, whatever, it truly works. So it's a lot. I think it's the timing of the pandemic, and things are going to start to open up. I'm here to tell you, because I lost my mom to COVID on Mother's Day last year, and it's dampened my life. But I have to tell you, if FSR wasn't in my life, and I'm not just making this up, I probably would be in the cuckoo house right now, because it's something I'm interested in being a part of, because I am a living testimony of sarcoid, and this is what's keeping me going. So I have to speak about it every day, whether we were stepping for soccer or not. I talk about it every day. My sister can tell you. I'm trying to tell her, we have to go this way to the Constitution Gardens for the walk. And she's hilarious. She said, oh, just follow the crowd. No, it's an organized organization. You can't just follow the crowd. You need to know what you need to have to do. And that's what, when you're talking about speaking to sarcoid or asking for donations, you have to be straight to the point, give them a direct, and some folks will receive it well and some won't. But you just move on to the next person.
Yeah.
That's how I try to get my donations.
I mean, that's so important, and it's so great to, I mean, Marsha, I know that you talk about it all the time, and you share your story too, which is so you courageously share your story and, keep talking about it. And, what basically you said was that anyone around you that you talk to can become a donor. And that's exactly how it happens, right? Someone that, you may be talking to in the grocery store, or someone that is in your congregation at church. It happens through organic conversations, and when you
Yes.
bring up sarcoidosis and tell them again how it relates to you, and like Marcia said, ask. You'd be surprised. It doesn't happen every time, right? There's a lot of times when you ask and people don't, but you just keep asking.
You never know.
The
Nothing
number
beats
one
a
reason
failure
why
but a try.
the number one
Yeah.
reason why people don't donate, this has been surveyed many, many times, is because they're not asked directly. You have to ask that person personally to donate. So if you put a generic ask out, a lot of people will, well, that's not really for me. But as soon as you ask someone directly to donate, they have that more inclination to want to do that. And there's a lot of data to support that that's true. I don't know, Angela, if you see Jim's got his hand up.
Oh, hi, Jim. I see. Sorry, your hand. I didn't see your little hand up in the corner of the screen.
I put a message in chat too, but if anybody has any ideas how to create a compelling message on social media, Facebook and Instagram, I am going to try Mary's trick, but I've put it out once a week with a link to, my Steppin for Sharks page. I haven't got any, well, I have got 2 donations off of that. So, I mean, it's not that I haven't got anything, but I got more activity over in the Pampered Chef side. So I am getting some activity. I've squeezed that, and we've got some good donation sources coming from that. Hey, speaking of that, before I forget, Angela, they'll be sending me the check on that, and I need to forward it. Is anybody in the office? Okay, so I knew at a
Yeah.
period last year there was nobody in the office to receive
That's
the
right.
check. So okay, good.
Yep.
So
Yep.
any tips for a compelling message? I just been saying, hey, we need donors and we need steppers. If you could do one or the other, it'd be great. Here, click my link.
Yeah, Jim, I think that's great. I also think keeping it short is important. If you're too verbose, at least I tend to keep scrolling if someone's post has too many words. And just what your example you gave is a good short and to the point. And then you need, I think, a really compelling photo to draw someone in. I think that will work well. Even if it's a stock photo that you find on the internet of cute twins or quadruplets, or actually, yeah, quadruplets are 4. So you could do quadruplets because the month of April's 4, and you know what I mean? You could figure out a way to be like, posting these cute quads in their purple for,
We've got these really great wild trees, purple trees that grow in our woods this time of year. So
beautiful, yeah.
My wife and I were just talking about it. I'm going to go take pictures of them.
Sure.
I like taking pictures, and
yeah, good.
that's going to be my posting. I usually do it on Fridays, so
very
that's
good.
going to be my posting tomorrow.
Yeah, good. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a great suggestion. And Jim, I know you tagged us before. As Mary said, tag FSR and then use the hashtag too for sarcoidosis. So the hashtag, if people search, sarcoidosis, and you hashtag in your post, other people will be able to see your post, and that's a way to share your message too and get it across as well.
And Mary, you mentioned this, posting it public as opposed to a lot of our settings is set up so that it's to our own friends or something, but making sure that when you do that particular post, you select and drop down to post it to go public is really key. And then the other thing, Jim, to mention is personalize it. So say that this has impacted you directly, because that's the other reason that people give. They don't give to organizations, they give to people. And so if you personalize it and put it public, then that is a big part of how you can get people to donate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. Oh, yes. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm just getting on. I just got back from school. I'm Elizabeth, and I live in beautiful Wisconsin, and the sun is trying to shine right now. So kind of piggyback on what everybody's saying about what to put on social media. So I don't very rarely post on Facebook. I'm kind of a lurker once in a while when I have some time. And I posted on, was it Tuesday, Purple Day? Yeah, Tuesday, a picture of my husband and I wearing Fight Sarcoidosis, the FSR shirts. And I said, today we wear purple because a year ago I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis and we're fighting for a cure. And I wasn't expecting anything, really. I wasn't expecting any donations. And I know this is probably not a lot of money at this point, but right now it's $285.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, what? I can't even believe it was over $10. So, or the $50 that I donated. So I was really, really, really pleased with that. And it's not over. Well, but I do have a question. And I think I asked the question when I signed up. Did you answer any questions yet?
So we incorporated some of the questions into the presentation. So depending on what your question was, but we do have a couple more questions. And if you want to ask it, I definitely.
I just wondered when do they get the email thank you?
That's
I see there's
question.
A little thing to click for send email, but I did that and nobody's gotten that email. So I wondered if FSR does that automatically at the end or what?
Yeah, that's a great question. So after a donation is made through the Steps for SARP website, email confirmation thanking the donor is automatically emailed to them. Okay. It might, if someone, depending on someone's email settings, it might go to their spam or their junk mail. So that could be it. But yeah, and then you should be able to email straight from the platform in the email with the email button in the dashboard. So you could do that too. But there's a section in the dashboard where you can see, if you click on reports, it's called, you can see who's donated to your page, and reach out to your donors and thank them that way too, if you want to do that. But yeah, an email is sent to donors immediately after, and then we send a physical acknowledgement letter in the mail.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so they get two forms technically.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Angela, we got a question in the chat from Louise on, are donors to the platform automatically prompted to see if their company will match their gift?
Oh, that is a great question, Louise. No, but I think we can include that link from our, we actually have a donation matching link in the Stop Sarcoidosis website, the FSR website, that we can include in the email confirmation. So that's a great idea. Thank you for.
And the big question is, does that match count towards your team raise?
Ooh. If the match is received by April 30th.
Okay.
So, I know.
So maybe not.
Maybe, depending on how quick the company is to turn around. That's a great question, though. And yeah, donation matches, corporate matches are definitely a great way to help impact, maximize the impact of your own donation. So, yeah, a lot of companies have it. So, great question. So if anyone has a question, again, feel free to ask, but I'm going to go to the next question, which is, how do you make the ask? No? So I think, from what I've experienced, so making the ask may seem scary, But I think as long as it's set up, you've shared your story, you've talked about a little bit about what you're doing, making it easy for a person to donate is how you do it. Support me by clicking here, making a donation of any size. Support me today by, writing a check to FSR. And that's a really easy way to make the ask. And then of course saying, will you support me in this effort? I'm trying to raise $250 for my team this month. Will you support me? Texting, and again, making it really easy for someone to be able to donate after you make the ask too, because, a lot of times people ask and they're like, okay, but now what? Well, here's a link. Here's what you do. Here's where you can send a check. And again, making that really easy is really helpful for people. And the second point is if they don't make a donation after the first time you ask again, right? Because it's not that someone is not intending to make a donation. It's not that they don't care about your cause and, sarcoidosis and what we're fighting for. It's a life happens. We get busy. When we see the text or, get the call, we're coming in from work, we're walking our dog, we're checking the mail, things happen. And, one thing after another, it's been 3 days and you're like, I just asked this person and they said, they would make a donation, but I don't see their donation. Ask again. No harm in that. And again, it might take another ask after that. So reminders definitely help. And again, it's not that they're not interested. It's not that they don't want to support you. It takes, I think it's 7 times.
And I was just going to say that
Yeah.
I've heard in different fundraising seminars, it's 3 to 7 times. So keep asking.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other thing I would add into that as well is when you are doing your ask, again, this goes back to personalizing it, but tell them why you need them to be the person that donates for you. So why do you need them? How do you need them to help? People love to help. People want to help. They always want to help each other. And so explaining why you need them and how it's helpful is always a huge way to make an ask.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, Angela, I should have also shared with the group that my initial plug for my campaign was via text. So I texted all of my late husband's buddies because, of course, they're in my phone, but maybe not so much in my daily life anymore.
Right.
And then I even texted my core group of girlfriends, and then my siblings and I always have a string that is live because we're always texting each other about my mom, who's 91. So I threw it on my family text and said, hey guys, here you go. So yeah, so my initial push for it was via text.
Yeah,
that's like, here's the link, donate now, thank you. And then that's, I think that first night is when mostly a lot of donations came through. And then a few more via Facebook.
Yeah, that's great. You're doing it through chat in ways that you already communicate with people. If you're, again, if you're someone that calls people and, calling is what you're most comfortable with, if you're a texter, if you're a messenger or, a WeChatter or, whatever your form of communication is, making the ask and telling people how to do it, right? Great. Any other tips or questions about making an ask? The next question that I think is an interesting question that I am curious to hear your guys' thoughts on is, how do you ask for help and delegate tasks when you're on a team in fundraising? So basically, how do you get your team to help support you in, whether that be in Steps for Start case, getting people to join your team, complete your steps, fundraising? What do you guys think?
I don't have a
Well,
lot to
so-
say because I have to say the challenge that you put out there, Angela, to the FSR board versus the FSR staff has really acted as a catalyst to get the board members organized and engaged. I mean, we're competitive people, as it turns out. And so that friendly competition, I'm sure we would all look good in purple wigs, but that friendly competition has been a real spark.
That's great. That's great. I'm so glad. And sometimes that's all it takes. And really that's the idea of the challenge is to get that spark, because I think once the ignition gets going, you could go from 0 to 100, in seconds.
If you don't want to challenge somebody, if you're feeling like you don't know who to challenge, the other thing that you can do is tell them if you reach a certain goal that you will do something. So it's the same concept as the challenge, but you're basically challenging yourself and asking friends and family to participate. So this works a lot for people who are particularly in love with a particular sports team. So, Chicago, the Cubs versus the White Sox, right? You say, I'll wear a White Sox shirt if you're a Cubs fan, for a day and take pictures and whatever, right? Something along those lines that works really well for people because, if your friends know you don't like the other team, they're going to get into that a lot to try and make you wear something you don't like or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's really fun. I think one of the things too is as far as getting people to help support your fundraiser and getting going is kind of this along the same lines of if making the ask is asking for support. Ask people and ask people again. I think that if you make it easy for people, of course, not everyone's going to want to participate, but like kind of what you mentioned, Jim, I need help achieving my step goal, or, to make a donation. So coming at it from a couple different angles, I think helps, right? Yeah.
And again, I think, and Angela mentioned this before, but it can't be said enough. Publicly acknowledging other people who have donated is great because it's guilt. And if Aunt Joan donated, but Aunt Ginny didn't, like that's that competition that Louise was just talking about, right? Like now you just mentioned one of them, but you didn't mention the other ones that wanted that mention. So, that's another way, publicly acknowledging a donation, not only for gratitude, but also as a way to kind of instill some competition in friends and family. It works really well.
Yeah, exactly. Love the competition. Any other questions or any other ideas about how do you guys like the Steps for Start challenge so far? Because it's been fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I think it's great. And, like I said, I think that it's interesting how we've been able to navigate these kind of strange times, but we're all able to do so in our own way. If we're out with our spouse or with our someone in our household, we can do walk around the neighborhood and for everybody stepping for the weekend, have our signs and still make it fun and create that sense of community in a unique way. So. Yeah.
Ange, do you want to put a little plug in for your Spotify playlist?
Yeah. If you guys have any fun song suggestions, you can type it into the chat because we're going to be sharing a Spotify playlist for us to dance to for everybody stepping into the weekend to help get our steps in. So if you've already walked 10 miles that day and you are just walked out, you can dance around your living room to help get more steps in. So that's kind of the idea behind it. We're kind of playing on the walk theme too. We've got like walk this way. We've got walk on.
Mary just suggested Casey and the Sunshine Band's Boogie Shoes. That's a good one.
That is a good one. I love it.
It's a very great, upbeat, fun song.
My wife has already forbidden dancing in the living room. I may have to just stay outside and do that.
That's fun. Well, great. What else was I going to say? Oh, the other thing is, if you have any pictures as you are completing your steps and, taking part in your fun Everybody Stepping for the Weekend activities, send them to info@stopsarcoidosis so we can put them on the photo gallery page of the Steps for Sarc website. And we can share them and post them on social media. And of course, don't forget to tag us. Don't forget to use your hashtags, all that fun stuff.
Angela, is that an email address? info@sarcoidosis.
Yes.
What?
Oh.
Dot anything after it?
Org. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, I put it in the chat here. Oh, Trisha just did it. Perfect. Yep. Pets. Anything?
Yeah, I have a good one of my dog.
Oh, perfect.
And my
Yay.
sister just got a new puppy, so yeah.
Oh, that's
I
great.
bought her a little purple stuffy. So yeah, I'll share that too.
Yeah, definitely share that. We want to get it involved because we have another pooch on there too. Trisha's pooch is our first Steps to Sarc pet. So yeah, pets, babies, yeah, definitely we'll get them on there.
Now the steps for the dog, does that count? I mean, can
Yeah,
you
maybe it should be doing that, Jim. I haven't been counting that, but maybe I need to up my step count because I'm
put a
the dog
Fitbit
walker.
on them and
Yeah,
go,
it does
or
it. Do you
strap an
double the
iPhone.
steps?
Yes, you double them
Strap an
because
Or
iPhone
at least
on.
double it. My guy's legs are like this big, so he's really stepping.
Yeah, they have 4 legs.
Four
so
legs, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
mail you
worse.
my Fitbit and strap it on them.
Yes.
My cat's waiting for the Naps for Sarc competition.
Exactly, right.
Well, mine are going.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, if anyone has any other questions, or if, we can answer them or type them in the chat. Jim, anyone? Marsha? Elizabeth?
I have one. I have a question.
Yes, Elizabeth.
What do you do with a hashtag? Hashtag what for you guys?
Yes, so it's hashtag, I'm sure you can hear the barking in the background, sarcoidosis. We'll put that in the chat too. And then, yep, hashtag, gosh, now what did I just say? Hold on, I'm sorry. Steps for Sarc.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Great question. And there will be a Everybody Steppin' for the Weekend email coming next week. And yeah, we're excited to have our dance party, share all of our pictures with our community. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun time.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a hashtag that says Marsha's grandbaby can say Sarc.
Yes.
That's a great story.
Put it out there. Did you see it?
I have not seen this video, Marsha, but I'm gonna go and find it.
Go on there. Baby Rome is she's around me enough. She knows. I went today to get my port flush, and she said, "Did you get your port flush?" I said, "I sure did." But your Band-Aid is in purple. I said, "Oh my world." Now, this is a 2-year-old. I said, "There's no way that an adult cannot relate to sarcoidosis. There's no way."
That is incredible.
Yeah, we'll have to get her on our marketing team. She wants purple Band-Aid. She's already on it. I think we need her on our marketing team. So Angie, you want to close us out? I know Ponch is barking like crazy in the background.
I know he's ready to get his steps in, you guys. He heard the step challenge and now he's like, I'm on it. I'm on it. Let's get our steps in. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We're going to make the PowerPoint presentation into a PDF document, and we did record this. So if there's anything that you want to reference back, you'll be able to do that. Yeah, if you have any other questions about getting started, fundraising, or building your team, definitely reach out to me via email. I'll put my email in the chat too. It's Angela at Stop Sarcoidosis. And I want to thank you all so much for joining us in the campaign. It's really, we can't do it without you. And we're just making incredible progress. And this month has been so successful. And it's all because of, your support and participation. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you. I'm going to echo what Angela said. And I'm also going to remind you that as we come to Everybody Steppin for the weekend, we have that really fun match that's coming up, which will make it so that people can double their donations. So maybe start getting the word out to your community about that so that they know that their donation will be doubled when they donate through that.
Okay.
Have a good one. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. See
Bye-bye.
ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.